What's up, guys? It's Scion, and I am back. And of course, if you're looking at this right now, you pretty much know what this title is going to be about. It's a should I play Warcraft? Now, this is going to be Warcraft Legion. Keep that in mind. And I'm not exactly sure, but I'm pretty sure that even when you buy Legion, that you still have to have the original game. So, the very first point in all this is the pricing plan. Now, easily, the game itself costs, the expansion itself costs $49.99. And not to mention the monthly fee, which I'm not sure. I haven't even looked at my card yet. I know it did charge me, but it's not going to be any more than $14.99, and that's not even included with the whole, if you have to buy the original game before, which I'm pretty sure you kind of have to. So you're looking at in the least a $70 investment to get into this, unless you already had the game, or if you're just starting from scratch, it's probably going to be a little bit more than that. But that's the pricing plan. It's pay to play game, like no BS. It does have a cash shop. Not gonna act like it doesn't, but yeah. So character customization in Warcraft has not changed in years. They can say that they gave more polygons to whatever the hell they want to say they gave it to. You still have the same choices. You still have the same faces that you remember from 10 years ago. Maybe some new hair colors, maybe an earring here and there, maybe a little bit more, like maybe a horn on a horde or something like that, but it's still the same character customization. So it's either take it or leave it when it comes to that game. So you pretty much have at this point the cash shop. Now the cash shop is a little bit different. The cash shop is mostly cosmetic, but it also has the heirlooms in it, and the heirlooms help you level fast. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with any of that. You also have battle pets. Battle pets are pretty much the Pokemon of the game. It had its place, and pretty much now nobody does it. It's kind of like just there. A lot of people, swear by it that it's cool and stuff like that, but Number 4, the auction house. Auction house is selling is the same thing. It's always been solid in World of Warcraft. It's always been a very strong point in the game. It's always been a point that you can make money in the auction house without having to really stress out anything. The nerfing of what I would call trade skills, not what I would call, they are trade skills, but the nerfing of trade skills, which I will explain a little bit more later in point 11, pretty much has it at the point where you just are just like this, almost no point to trade skill anymore beyond breaking things down and selling them for base mats and parts. That's it. Like, you can't really hardly make anything, maybe a few inscriptions here and there, but it's really nerfed compared to the way it used to be. You could really play the market before. It's not so much now, so it's kind of like, I guess that's like the casualty of the expansion right there, that the trade skills really don't seem like the way they used to be. They seem so watered down and nerfed and not even useful anymore, in my opinion. So like it could people could like it better this way, being dumbed down, but I don't. Graphics in the world, it's Warcraft, man. Warcraft has never been a super fidelity graphic game, in my opinion. It's always looked good. It looked good for what it is. It looked good for the graphics that it is. It was never super high end. Maybe when it first came out, season like vanilla Warcraft, it was super high end, but now it looks its age. It really does. And I really wish that Blizzard would go Warcraft 2 on us and make things look more realistic. Is what it is. Combat and spells. Now, actually, overall, they nerfed a little bit of every character to kind of make the new hero class, which is the Demon Hunters, be a bit more OP and worth actually using. They could have did a whole lot better than that, but is what it is. But the combat's still fun. It still has a lot of quests in it and a lot of things that make things interesting, where you're doing like maybe a little side thing or something like that, or riding some type of machine, or attacking some ship or something like that, or flying down, like rappelling off a mountain or something like that. Like, things like that are good. Like even storming the castle, to the point where you're storming the castle, all of that is hot and good. Storyline, plot, and quests. Warcraft has always excelled in this. The storyline is always good in Warcraft. You always feel the emotions. They have top-notch cinema majority of the time, and they always make you feel like they make you have the feels. You have the feels at the end of the day. It's always something good at the end of the day with the feels. So you definitely can appreciate the storyline, plot, and quest. Classes, like I said earlier, the Demon Hunter class is fun. a little bit overpowered in certain things like movement and stuff like that, and they nerfed a lot of other characters, I mean other classes, so they can, demon hunters can have that like superior movement. I feel certain classes should just have that, like maybe like the hunters and the mages should be able to teleport around freely and stuff like that. And even the rogues should be like, they should be like ninja-ish and be able to run. Like the warriors should be able to just charge, but not truly have like that lateral movement, but just forward charging movement and stuff like that. Like there's ways that they could have went about doing it without nerfing away things, but it's what it is. Can't do anything about it. Alt and replay value. Okay, here's the issue with alt and replay value. Warcraft took a major hit in replay value with the artifact system. Now, I didn't really say anything about the artifact system yet, but I felt this was the perfect place to talk about that, because the artifact system basically is you getting legendary weapons in the game, which kind of there's no reason to be a weaponsmith. Weaponsmith is useless, kind of, at this point. And legendary weapons are pretty much took, like you can get 3 legendary weapons. Some classes only have 2, but they took the place of like all the weapons. Like there's no reason to even use any other weapons beyond the legendary weapons. They level, they get artifact power. You can determine on how much artifact power you get with certain weapons, and what that has done is that has made it so it's very hard. Like if you have multiple alts, like it's very hard to get all of those alts to have all their legendary weapons up. Like you're basically grinding 3 different legendary weapons on most characters, and then you have to turn around and like do that again on the alt. That's not fun. It's really not. Maybe somebody else thinks that's fun, but I don't think it's fun. And then it's even with like the increased rates of artifact power, it's just still not fun. So replay value took a supreme hit this expansion in Warcraft, in my opinion. Dungeons, overall, the dungeons, like, it's Warcraft. What else you gonna say? Like they've done a good job with dungeons. It's always storyline filled and plot filled, and the fights aren't really crazy hard. The way, like, I just got enough power up to go after my first mythic dungeon, and even that wasn't really all that hard to me, anything like that. I haven't got a chance to do any raids yet because there aren't any, but the dungeons overall, they're wild dungeons. If you're used to them in the previous expansions, you're gonna be pretty much used to it here. It's nothing that I've seen that I haven't done already before, sadly. I thought that maybe they went into something a little bit new, but every single fight I've seen it already before. So trade skills, like I said before, so supremely nerfed. It's like almost no point in even doing them now. It hurts my feelings because I had jewel crafters and herbalists and all that type of stuff, and it sucks. So I can really say at that point. PvP number 12. PvP is like at a point. See, this is where I'm reaching an impasse with Warcraft. It's never going to change beyond this. Even when you add new classes, it's the same stuff over and over again. Unless you add new PvP grounds and stuff like that, it's always going to be the same type of fights. It's always going to be the same rock, paper, scissors. Not that literal, but the same things are always going to negate other things. And PvP is never bad in Warcraft, in my opinion. It's always solid, so it's always good. Guilds also took a bit of a backseat in this expansion. I don't really think you even really need a guild, to be honest with you. Like, it has a few benefits and stuff like that. You get mounts and, like decreases in repair and all that type of stuff. But, like, overall, I'm like, whatever, to be honest with you, with a guild. Raids and in-game, like, the mythic dungeons are pretty cool. And the overall world quest and world running around, like, that you have to do is actually a little bit refreshing. It's different that different things happen in the game and allow you to do different things. Like your order hall allows you to run around and do different things, and I gotta like it. But there's no raids yet because it's not out yet. It's going to be very, very soon though. Now, my conclusion in all of this, just to wrap this up, is that Warcraft is Warcraft. Warcraft, in my opinion, should never actually lose subs. It loses subs because people get bored over the course of time, but Warcraft is always a solid MMO to play. If you're going to pay for an MMO, Warcraft is probably the game that you would probably do that for. You're never going to not be getting your money back, in my opinion, with Warcraft. So should you play it, if you're inclined to spend money, and if there's going to be a game out there that you're going to do that for, it should be Warcraft, in my opinion. It's still solid. It hasn't gone backwards like the previous expansion. I did think that the game went backwards in the previous expansion, but I think that this time around it took major steps forward, but a few things got left behind. Trade skills got left behind. The replay value got left behind with the artifact system. They gotta do something about that, because that negated everything, and it also negated part of the loot, because now weapons don't really mean much beyond skins. Like maybe you can just transmog a legendary weapon into a different type of skin or something like that. It just doesn't mean anything anymore, and that kind of hurts my feelings, because I kind of liked getting gear, I like certain things like that. So other than that, that's all I pretty much got for you guys today for this particular game. I do play it right now. I'm having fun in it, like getting my gear together. I'm interested to see the raids, and this might be my last rodeo with Warcraft. It might be my last time around, my last victory lap. I've got the Ashbringer. That's what I've always wanted since the very first day that I stepped in Warcraft and learned the lore and played the game. I've always wanted that sword, and now I have it. So it's kind of like there's nothing left for me to do. So other than that, you guys be legendary. Peace. Let's get hype. You made it to the end of one of my videos. If you liked what you've seen here, please like, subscribe, and share these videos. It really helps me out. One love and peace.